I'm
nice
not
to see you.
going to start by asking you what the T stands for, which is what everyone always asks you.
Thank you.
We all know it stands for television.
Right, this is going to be rather controversial. Hello lads, I'm back. Quite the response on the last video, so I thought I got more yapping in me, may as well keep this up a while. If you have seen my last video, you'll be quite surprised at a follow-up called In Defence of Russell T Davies. Now, I was quite mean to the poor boy last time, mainly around his insane decision to end Doctor Who like that, as well as the fact that his era has been left pretty much unfinished, and the amount he's lied about it all. But at the end of the day, he's still our guy, and I wanted to come out swinging for him a bit, because despite his many missteps in this era, he did at least try, and he made us some pretty good episodes along the way. I don't think Russell T Davies wanted to come back to Doctor Who. Obviously, he would never come out and say this, but it's probably not good PR for his new era if everyone knows he's not there by choice. But I do think the BBC probably twisted his arm a bit to get him back. Russell was always adamant he would never come back to Doctor Who. In 2018, he said, "Really, think about it. Go back to the job you had 13 years ago. Walk in, say hello, take your old seat and start giving instructions. Watch everyone's faces shortly before they call the police. Move on, and besides, why look back? The future is golden." That was about 3 years before his return was announced. Then this extract in 2019 from an article from the Radio Times. Speaking about a possible return to Doctor Who at the BFI and Radio Times Television Festival, Davies told us a comeback will never be on the cards, even if he had the opportunity to write a special Doctor Who 60th anniversary episode. It'll be like coming back to a job I did 10 years ago, wouldn't it? Who would do that? You can find some really funny quotes like this if you dig deep enough. That was about a year or maybe 2 before he would have had to agree to come back and do exactly what he said he wouldn't and write the 60th. So, what changed? Basically,
See, Doctor Who was rubbish after I left, is really what's going on. That, and it carried on for a few years and it managed, it stumbled along. Get my coat, would you, darling?
by 2021, everything was going wrong. I know that's a pretty generalised statement, but to be fair, by 2021, everything was going wrong. The UK had just been hit by COVID and Brexit, and all of a sudden people realised they could just press the "I have a TV licence" button on iPlayer and suddenly have another 200-ish quid to spend on food. The BBC found themselves in a situation where of course they wanted to keep making Doctor Who, but it was looking more and more expensive to produce for an increasingly small audience. It was at this point where in some meeting somewhere that some executive had the brilliant idea, well, what if we just get someone else to pay for it? During the lockdown Doctor Who tweet-alongs, David Tennant and Catherine Tate had both chatted with Russell about returning. He had said that he felt duty-bound to pass this on to the BBC. Now, this is where I get a bit conspiratorial. I think the BBC were probably very concerned about handing their most prestigious IP over to a big streamer without someone they felt thoroughly confident in as a safe pair of hands that could run the show through an era that would absolutely need to succeed. And just as they were trying to figure out what to do, good old Russell T Davies shows up at the door. I think this is probably how the meeting between Russell and the BBC went. "Hello, it's me, Russell T Davies. I've heard from..." "Please come back, please, we need you." "Oh no, I'm sure you could find someone else who'll be absolutely marvellous. Oh yes, they'll be brilliant, Russell, I'm gonna level with you. Come back or we cancel it." "Oh well, I guess I'm writing the 60th then. Oh, I'll bring back Tennant. Oh, isn't he marvellous? And Catherine And the next era." "Oh, but that's not brilliant." "Or it ends." "Oh fine, this will be marvellous." I can't imagine we're going to get any behind the scenes info on how his return actually happened, so it's impossible to say if I'm wrong or not, but that's how I reckon it went. The closest I have to proof of this is a quote from Russell in 2024 where he said, "All those years while I was away, I was beginning to think about what the future of Doctor Who looks like. And then the BBC hijacked me on a Zoom. They trapped me. They sprung their ambitions on me to make Doctor Who bigger, with worldwide streaming, a simultaneous job, a production partner with global scale and ambition, and it literally fit exactly what I thought the show should be doing. I think I actually said yes on the spot. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to say, let me go away and think about this." The idea that he only came back in an effort to keep the show going is one of the main reasons I cut him so much slack. I mean, if a friend gives you a lift somewhere and their car breaks down along the way, you don't get annoyed at them, you get annoyed at the situation, not the guy in it with you, the guy that was trying to help the best they could. Back in 2023, I was so very excited for the 60th, and I very much enjoyed it as it came out, to be honest. There were definitely problems with it, especially in the Star Beast, but I enjoyed every episode. It felt narratively coherent. It felt like the bridge between eras it was meant to be. I think it has definitely been coloured poorly by the failures of what came after it, but as a run of 3 episodes, I really enjoyed it. I defended the 14th Doctor conceptually last video, so I won't do that again, but I do really feel the weight of everything that happened to the Doctor over New Who in Tennant's performance, as much as leaving the 14th Doctor on Earth created a massive plot issue for all future stories set on Earth. I do like the idea that we've left behind the Doctor's emotional baggage. It's a good way to start a new era, and I felt the 60th explored that as a concept quite well. These 3 episodes to me represent what RTD2 should have been. Not like a perfect run of episodes or anything, but it was coherent, it was fun, and it was engaging, and I think that's what Russell was wanting to do when it got to shoot his era as well. After Christmas, into 2024, I was so very excited for the new series. I remember staying up until midnight after such a long wait between series, so very excited, and then being hit straight in the face by Space Babies! I did not like Space Babies. This probably isn't the hottest take. I was just surprised above all else. I was just like expecting this era to be good, so when it started like that, I was worried. Next up, on the same night though, The Devil's Court. Better, much better. It was definitely not the best thing I'd ever seen, but I didn't hate it. Next week, Boom. We were so back. I loved Boom so much. I didn't think there'd be an episode that would top it for me for a while. Then the week after that, 73 yards. Oh my god, 73 yards. Russell T Davies, you still got it, my man. 73 yards was truly phenomenal. Space Babies threw me off for a bit, but now I was so confident again in this era. We were back. Dot and Bubble the week after, also brilliant. Rogue was pretty good as well. The Legend of Ruby Sunday, as much as nothing massively happens in that episode, got me so excited. I was so on board with the mysteries of this era. I figured Russell had some kind of game plan, and I couldn't wait to see what it was. Empire of Death genuinely left me feeling hollow. I actually couldn't believe it. This series had been brilliant overall. I didn't understand how they messed it up so badly. The way that the Ruby's mother plot wrapped up was so terrible. I was astonished. I had so much faith that the plot lines that I was invested in would have a proper conclusion that made sense on a rewatch. I mean, that's not a high bar in my opinion. Ruby Sunday, looking back, was not meant to leave at the end of Series 1. Before her first episode had even aired, rumours began to spread that Millie Gibson had to leave Doctor Who early for some reason or another. It's hard to say what happened here, especially with the awful tabloid coverage that all of this got at the time. It was truly terrible how much the tabloids targeted such a young actor, but whatever the truth is there, I would be surprised if her departure at the end of Series 1 was the original plan. Whatever actually happened behind the scenes, what we saw in that finale was not what RTD had planned. As much as I do not like Empire of Death, blaming Russell for everything is just not fair. He pulled something together last minute to make the series happen at a deadline. I cannot imagine the stress on him during that time to just write something, just write anything that they could use. While a lot of the issues with that finale were definitely in the original version, like why he chose to redesign Sutekh like that is beyond me, a lot of the plot lines I think would have made a lot more sense if we got the original, and I don't think we can blame Russell for that. On to Series 2. I quite like the Robot Revolution. I really liked Lux and The Well. I thought both of those were fantastic. I controversially liked Lucky Day as well. Story in the Engine was great, felt so fresh. The Interstellar Song Contest is not something I feel qualified to unpack, so I won't. Wish World I enjoyed. Again, set up for the finale. The Reality War. Oh, the Reality War. It took me a few days to unpack how I felt about it. At the end of the day, it's not good. Even ignoring that cliffhanger, as I talked about that enough last time, the episode itself is just not good. But again, we have to assume that behind the scenes, everything was on fire. We know how much of this episode was reshot.
It was always the plan to do this amount of seasons.
And while I 100% agree that there are bits from the original that do not work, a large amount of the problems with the episode come from it having to turn into a regeneration episode about 2 months before it aired. Like with Series 1, I can imagine Russell having absolutely no idea how to get out of this situation, not wanting to use the original ending so if they do get picked up again, they don't need Shooty, but also wanting to wrap up the plot elements in the 20 minutes before he leaves. Both series of RTD2 were let down by the finales. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying that the production issues are completely to blame for this era failing, but neither is Russell. There are absolutely some very poor choices to begin with from him. I mean, Sutek and especially Omega were done so dirty by their new designs. I don't think either finale would be considered that great either way, but I imagine that they wouldn't be remembered as being as era-definingly bad if Russell's vision is what we got. In my opinion, this era was always going to end when it did. There was no creative decision that they could have made to convince Disney to stay. If everything went how RTD was expecting, not only would we have just finished Series 3 about a month or two ago, with Series 4 planned next year, but Series 1 and 2 would have been far, far better. Also, again, far from perfect, but they would have actually made some sense. They would be functional as television. I do also obviously understand, as showrunner, it was his job to deal with these situations as they happened. But from the sounds of things, the behind the scenes stuff on this era sounds so dire. The fact they managed to get anything out is a minor miracle, to be honest. This video is far more speculative than my last. I haven't got nearly as much evidence to back up what I've said here. Russell's autobiography comes out in a few months, so possibly we'll get more info then, but somehow I doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe production issues weren't behind as much as I'm assuming they were, or possibly they were behind even more. I wanted to make this video to counter my last. I was, justifiably I think, quite annoyed with him on many different things about this last era, namely the Billy Piper stuff and all of the lying, but I don't want it to come across as though I'm laying all the failures on him. I still love the guy and his writing. I talked a bit about Tiptoe last time, and that show was brilliant, proof enough that he still got it. Russell is gone now. He won't be coming back. As a community, let's not be too mean to the guy that brought the show back in the first place. RTD came back to Doctor Who in 2021 and gave it his all to get the show into a healthier position in the modern market. I think it's safe to say he failed to do that, but you know what, Russell, thank you for trying. We appreciate it, and you gave us some bangers along the way. It's been a real one. Just don't come back now, please. You are free. Enjoy it, my guy. Thank you again to anyone that's got to the end of this video, and thank you so much to the amount of people that got to the end of the last one. The response on that was crazy. I very much appreciate it. That one was a long video. It took ages to make. I mean, this one did as well, but it was a lot shorter. You will be seeing more from me again at some point, but again, this stuff takes ages, so I have no idea when, but I promise it won't just be talking about RTD again. There is other stuff I've got to say. But for now, see you later.